The year is 1241. From the vast steppes of the east, a shadow falls across Eastern Europe, a terror unlike any seen before the Mongol horde. Their approach struck fear into the hearts of kingdoms, and Christendom braced for the storm. King Bela IV of Hungary, rallying his knights and soldiers, prepared to meet the invaders. His army stood ready on the banks of the river Saho, a desperate gamble for defense. But the Mongols, masters of deception, had other plans. Under the cloak of night, their warriors unleashed a swift, brutal assault, securing a bridgehead with shocking speed. Then, the thunderous hooves of their cavalry descended, a perfect, deadly encirclement. The Hungarian army was shattered. It was a decisive Mongol victory, a chilling testament to their military might. Europe, for a moment, stood utterly stunned, the unthinkable having just occurred on their doorstep. Imagine a universe alive, not with empty space, but with a substance so subtle, so all-pervading, that it was believed to carry light itself. This was the ether, the presumed medium for every wave, every beam, from the distant stars to the lamps in our homes. In the summer of 1887, in Cleveland, Ohio, two meticulous scientists, Albert Michelson and Edward Morley, embarked on an experiment to detect our planet's silent passage through the celestial ocean. They theorized that if the Earth was moving through the ether, they should be able to measure a distinct ether wind, a subtle shift in the speed of light. But what they found, after painstaking measurement and repeated trials, was nothing. Absolutely zero. The universe, it seemed, was not carrying them along. This astonishing null result would shatter existing theories and, in its profound silence, would pave the way for a revolution in our understanding of space, time, and the very fabric of reality. Imagine a world where the heavens declared one absolute truth, a truth held sacred for millennia. For centuries the earth stood proud and still, at the very heart of creation, the undisputed center of the universe. This was the bedrock of understanding, deeply ingrained in both science and faith. But in the quiet study of a Polish scholar, a seismic shift was brewing. In 1543, Nicholas Copernicus dared to question everything. His radical idea? That the sun, not the earth, was the fixed star at the cosmos's core, with our planet merely another celestial traveler, orbiting its fiery embrace. This wasn't just an astronomical debate, it was a revolution, challenging the very foundations of human knowledge and forever changing the way we saw our place in the vastness of space. The year is 1571. For centuries, the mighty Ottoman Empire had advanced across the Mediterranean, a formidable crescent challenging the very heart of Christendom. But in the shimmering waters of the Gulf of Patras, a collision was imminent, a clash that would decide the fate of an age. On that fateful October day, hundreds of galleys, bristling with cannon and packed with determined warriors, met in a thunderous embrace. Cannon smoke choked the air as galleys grappled, their decks erupting into scenes of brutal hand-to-hand combat. Blood stained the splintered wood as men fought with desperate ferocity. Yet, against all odds, the Christian forces of the Holy League held their ground. The Ottoman tide was finally broken, their seemingly invincible power shattered. It was a victory so decisive, so profound, that Europe, for the first time in generations, could truly breathe again. In the harsh, sun-baked plains of Western Australia, a peculiar conflict unfolded, a battle not against a foreign invader, but against an unfeathered foe. It's a chapter of history so bizarre, it almost sounds like fiction. The Great Emu War of 1932. Thousands of emus, driven by drought to seek sustenance on farmland, had declared open season on crops. The desperate farmers, many of them veterans of the Great War, appealed to the government for help. And the government responded, not with pesticides, but with machine guns. Soldiers were deployed, armed with Lewis guns, ready to face an enemy that outnumbered them and moved with surprising speed and resilience. Yet the emus proved an unexpectedly formidable adversary, scattering at the first sign of danger, their elusive nature frustrating even the most determined marksmen. The machine guns proved largely ineffective, and the campaign was ultimately declared a failure, a humbling defeat for the Australian military against the humble emu. This strange encounter serves as a stark reminder of nature's unpredictable power and humanity's often futile attempts to control it. The year is 1628. Stockholm Harbor buzzed with anticipation. Sweden's pride, a brand new warship named Vasa, was a marvel of its age, a floating fortress ready to embark on its maiden voyage. A royal audience gathered, eager to witness this symbol of Swedish power. But as the Vasa set sail, disaster struck. A simple shift of its heavy cannons proved fatal. Too top-heavy, the magnificent vessel began to list. Then, a sudden gust of wind sealed its fate. Water rushed in, overwhelming the ship. In a heart-stopping spectacle, the Vasa sank not to the distant sea, but in full view of the stunned crowd, a tragic end to its very first sail. For 333 years, it lay beneath the waves, a lost testament to ambition, until its astonishing resurfacing brought its story back to life. In the crucible of the early 4th century, the Roman Empire was a land of stark contrasts, where imperial power often cast a long shadow of persecution. For those who followed the nascent Christian faith, life was a precarious tightrope walk, fraught with danger and uncertainty. Then, in 313 AD, a seismic shift occurred. Emperor Constantine, after a transformative vision before a pivotal battle, the clash at Milvian Bridge, forged an unprecedented alliance with his co-emperor Licinius. Together, they issued the Edict of Milan, a decree that would echo through the ages. For the first time, religious toleration was declared, granting freedom to all faiths. The brutal era of Christian persecution abruptly ended, allowing churches to flourish and laying an unforeseen foundation for the rise of Byzantium. This single act, born from a vision and a political gamble, forever altered the course of Western civilization.